So, today we are going to check how the wind healing levers are created, or as per Index Stability Code 2008, the weather criteria. It's 2.3. So, before we start anything, we need to know a few things. First of all, in any vessel, floating in water, normally we have been considering the underwater area, but in this one, weather criteria or the wind healing lever, will be concerned more about the area of the vessel which is above the waterline, or we can say the windage area. Now, also before we start anything with the curve, I would like you to consider the vessel here at sea. It is acted upon by the wind pointed in the red. The side wind is acting is known as windward side, and the other side is the leeward side. Now, for the sake of our understanding and for the sake of the graph, the area which is on the leeward side of the vessel, we'd be calling it the windward. Correction, not the windward, leeward one. And the area of the graph which is on the windward side will be the windward side. So the graph which lies on the leeward side of the vessel will be the leeward side, and the one which lies on the windward side would be the windward side. Now we know already how to construct a graph, a GZ curve. First of all, we'll need to determine the GM. The GM, as we know, it can be determined by Km minus Kg equal to GM. And second thing which you would require is GZ. GZ will be Kn minus Kg sine theta. And then we get the graph. So when we are drawing the graph at any time, the curve, correction, when we are anytime drawing the curve, try to make it as smooth as possible. The curves should be smooth. We all love smooth curves. So we already know what's the windage area, and we have discussed about the windward and leeward side of the craft as well as of the ship. Now a few conditions. When discussing the weather criteria, a few things have been already taken in existence, like the wind will be blowing on the vessel. The wind blowing onto the vessel have been taken as 504 pascals. Why? I don't know. That's the naval architects who have decided it. So 504 pascals of wind acting on the vessel, that is the wind pressure. The gray area we already know, that's the lateral windage area. And another thing which we need to know, so that is the lever. Now the lever, how we consider the lever, for the measurement of lever, it has to be the center of the lateral windage area to somewhere a point which is almost half of the main raft. So this is the area, विंडेज एरिया. विंडेज एरिया का जो सेंट्रॉइड है वहाँ से आपका हाफ ऑफ मेन ड्राफ्ट के बीच का जो मेजरमेंट है that is known as Z. Now where this Z will be required, we'll see. So first of all, let's consider that the wind is blowing, the vessel is flowing very nice, vessel is floating, and the vessel is subjected to a steady wind pressure acting on it like we call it perpendicular to the ship's center line. So the wind of and this wind acting is 504 pascals. Now this wind which is acting will induce a wind healing lever. Wind healing lever. Now this wind healing lever is also known as, for the purpose of our graph, we'll call it LW1. LW1 उसका एक फॉर्मूला है P into A into Z divided by 1000 into G into displacement, LW1. Now LW1 is the wind healing lever. One property of wind healing lever is that it is always constant at all angles of inclination. मतलब अगर उसको आप ग्राफ के ऊपर करोगे तो it's gonna be coming as a straight line. We'll see it. So we can calculate the wind healing lever LW1. We know already the pressure of wind 504, windage area. For the sake of examination purpose, it will be provided in your exam, or if you want to find it out practically, you can refer to your hydrostatic table. Z lever, finding it out won't be much of a problem. आपका exam रहेगा तो that you will have to find out. There are ways in which you can find it out. 1000 would be 1000. G is the gravitational force, value is 9.81, and displacement, that also we already know. So I'll just remove it. So this thing is gone. And now the vessel is acted upon by a wind pressure 504 pascals. A steady wind lever is created. Now we calculate the steady wind lever already. Pressure times A times Z divided by 1000 into gravitational force into the displacement of vessel. Now when we get that value, that's a steady value, so we create it as a straight line. We call this LW1 because LW1 is constant at all angles of inclination. Okay, I didn't mention one thing before. This graph that we have done, that is against angle of heel on x-axis against lever on y-axis. Now we already got LW1. On this graph we can see this point. What is this point? This point is the angle of heel under action of steady wind. Angle of heels are mentioned over here. If we take a straight line down, this cuts the angle of heel and it is known as phi 0. For phi 0 there is a requirement. Phi 0 should be either 16 degree or 80% of theta deck edge immersion. Theta deck edge immersion, we can get it from our hydrostatic table. So this is one of the condition of phi 0. It should be either 16 degree or 80% of the theta deck edge immersion angle. Now, when the vessel is acted upon by a steady wind of 504 pascals, steady wind lever is created, LW1. Then the vessel is acted upon to roll again due to the wave action. The vessel rolls due to wave action up till phi 1. Now phi 1, क्योंकि vessel opposite side में गया है, so we will come towards the windward side of the graph. Vessel rolls up to an angle of phi 1. Let's assume this is phi 1. Phi 1, how to measure phi 1? Phi 1 is measured from phi 0 to this phi 1. Now guys, we already know phi 0 is 16 degree to 80% of theta deck edge immersion. Thanks to our naval architect, we already know it. What is phi 1? Phi 1 is the angle of roll to the windward due to wave action. Now, how to calculate? Believe me, just pray to God this calculation for phi 1 doesn't comes in exam, because if it comes, you are done. It's a very big calculation, and God bless us if it comes in examination. So we'll move forward. We'll just call phi 1 as angle of roll to windward. Angle of roll to windward. There is a big calculation for that one. I'm not gonna do it over here. Even actually I haven't studied because it's not required. So vessel gets acted upon by up till phi 1. Now afterwards, the ship is then subjected to gust wind pressure all of a sudden. Now this gust of wind introduces another lever, because vessel अब दूसरी तरफ वापस से जाएगा, एंड दूसरी तरफ जब जाएगा लीवर्ड साइड में रोल होगा, तो एक दूसरा विंड लीवर इंट्रोड्यूस हो जाएगा. अब क्योंकि ये विंड लीवर गस्ट विंड की वजह से है, विल कॉल दिस लीवर एज गस्ट विंड लीवर. We'll call it LW2. This is the gust wind heeling lever. Now how to find LW2? LW2 is 1.5 times of LW1. We already know LW1 equal to pressure 504 into area of windage into Z lever divided by 1000 into gravitational force into displacement, and LW2 is 1.5 times of LW1. Now we'll get some figure. As we already know, LW1 was constant to all angles of inclination, so also LW2 is constant at all angles of inclination. So that figure will give us another straight line, but this straight line, as we already know, it is 1.5 times of LW1. So this should come roughly somewhere here, 1 times, half times, 1.5 times. 1 time plus half time, 1.5 times. Now as we can see, this LW2 which is 1.5 times of LW1 cuts our graph at two places, number 1 and this is number 2. Now this number 1 is known as angle of heel caused by gust wind, first intercept. एक यहाँ पे इंटरसेक्ट हुआ है और एक दूसरा यहाँ पे हुआ है, एंगल ऑफ हील. Caused by gust wind. GUST, not E. Gust wind. And this second intercept, we already know we have got our phi 0, we have got phi 1. So what comes next? Nope, not 2. We will call it phi C. We take a straight line down and we'll call it phi C. So first cut, first intercept is known as point of angle of heel caused by the gust wind, and the second cut or the second intercept, it is between LW2 and the GZ curve. Okay, so phi C is angle of second intercept between LW2 and GZ curve. Phi C. Why phi C? We'll know. We'll sit in the coming part. So we have got phi 0, we have got phi 1, and now we will see what is phi 2. Phi 2, there is a condition for phi 2. Phi 2, either it is 50 degree or theta flooding or phi C, whichever is least. So phi 2 is either 50 degree or theta flooding. Theta flooding we can find from the stability book, or phi C. So now we know why do we need phi C, because it will let us decide where is phi 2. For the sake of our graph, for the sake of our understanding, let's assume that phi C is somewhere here. It could be 50 degree, it could be theta flooding, or it could be even phi C. We'll call it phi 2. Why do we need phi 2? We need phi 2 because it will help us to mark the area B. It is the phi 2 help us to determine the limits of area B. Now what is area A? I mean, what is area B? If there is area B, there has to be area A. Now this part, which is between LW2 area under the curve between phi 2 and LW2. This is known as area B, small b. So what is area A? Area A is, क्योंकि अपन ने बेस लाइन अपना LW2 को माना है, एरिया ए भी वहीं से होगा. इसको थोड़ा एक्सटेंड कर देंगे. ओए, कहाँ गया पेन? सो LW2, ओके, यहाँ पे आ गया. LW2 to phi 1 to our graph. This is area A. How can we make it? Area A would be this. Now area B. Area B would be this part. Guys, excuse my drawing, it's not very exact, as this is my first self-explanation. This is my first idiot's guide, because I'm not a genius, I am an idiot, and this is for my understanding. So anyhow, as long as it works. So this is the idiot's guide to wind healing lever. Okay, we got area B and we got area A. Now comes another thing. How do we calculate? What is this? Area A, area B. तो पता चल गया how to calculate area A and area B. As you know, these are area under the curves and these are not something symmetrical. First we'll discuss the condition. So condition is under these circumstances as in the wind acting upon the windage area 504 pascals. Always remember, because in question and examination this figure can be changed, this unit can be changed, and then you have to modify accordingly. But for the sake of explanation, for the sake of calculations, for to set up a standard, the naval architects have decided upon the figure of 504 Pascal. So under these circumstances, area B should be more than or equal to area A. Or if we speak exactly as per the Index Stability Code 2008, area B shall be equal to or greater than area A. Area B shall be equal to or greater than area A. Area A is work done by the external force to heal the vessel. Work done by external force to heal the vessel, we can see, क्योंकि ये हमेशा हीलिंग की साइड का रहा है, विंडवर्ड साइड. And area B is the residual dynamic stability for a vessel. Area B is the area under the curve. Area B is area under the curve between phi2 and LW2. It can also be known as residual dynamic stability for a vessel affected by gusting wind. So, anything else remaining? Nothing. Yeah, area B and area A. How would you calculate area B and area A? Area B and area A can be calculated with the help of Simpson rule. SR1 and SR2. So that's it. Let's get the conditions once again. So the condition is vessel acted upon by wind of 504 pascals. When the vessel is acted upon by the wind, it rose to 50. 50 is the angle of heel under action of steady wind. Now vessel rolls back due to wave action. It rolls back up till 51. 51 is the angle of roll to windward due to the wave action. Steady gust wind is acted upon, which is 1.5 times, which induces a wind healing lever LW2, 1.5 times of LW2 of LW1.